Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to another video. I appreciate you tuning in. I was in Sri Lanka for almost 3 months where I really locked in with my health. I hardly drank any alcohol, I hardly ate any processed food, and I felt amazing. And I looked in the best shape of my life. I was going to say I looked amazing, but that would be a bit arrogant of me. I was in the best shape of my life. And when I came back to England, which I was really looking forward to see my family and implement some more balance into my life, I knew I'd be drinking alcohol almost every day for 2 weeks, going to weddings, etc. And of course, the diet would not be, or should I say, my nutrition would not be as in check. And so, what I found out was you really cannot outtrain a bad diet. Now, if you're anyone like me that's always been into health and fitness, you might have been like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym and burn like 800 calories, do like a mad CrossFit session for an hour, and I can outtrain a bad diet. Unfortunately, it's not sustainable and it doesn't work. I tried for so many years and I never got the results that I wanted to. So what I've done over the past couple of weeks is essentially done the same workout wise. So I've got my 10k daily steps in. I'm trying to get general movement in during the day. I've been to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, lifting weights. Pretty much what I've been doing in Sri Lanka, but the only difference is my diet and my alcohol intake, right? So I think this really goes to show you just that you can't outtrain a bad diet, because what happened was I put on weight. Yes, a lot of it was water weight because it was bloating, but still that takes a good 5 or 6 days to really go down. I had less energy, I had less mental clarity, focus, all of these things that we already know by now, really, with drinking alcohol and having a bad diet, does for us. We know it's not great for us, but I thought it was interesting to really just analyze that I really hadn't changed that much. Like I said, I was still getting in my step count every day. I was getting up in the morning, even if I had a bit of a fuzzy head of having a few drinks the night before, I was still getting in my 5,000 steps. And then, obviously, throughout the day, ensuring that I got my 10,000. And then I was still managing to get to the gym maybe 3 times a week. So not as often. I'd probably go to the gym like 5 times a week in Sri Lanka. So obviously a little bit less working out then. But the difference was incredible. I probably put on, I didn't weigh myself, but I can just kind of tell now, just with the way I look, the way I feel, I probably put on about 3 kg. So I went up from 76 to 79 kg. Like I said, a lot of that is water weight, but it's amazing just how much alcohol and bad food, when you're not used to it, bloats you, right? So I think that really goes to show you that you can't outtrain a bad diet, no matter how many hours you put in the gym, how many calories you burn. These bad foods and alcohol do make a big impact on your body. And then mentally, like I said, getting up in the morning, less energy, less mental clarity. I was lucky that I scheduled a lot of my content like 2 weeks out, because I just wasn't really in that creative mind frame to create content and put it out. So I was lucky that I had those 2 weeks scheduled already, so I didn't necessarily need to be super creative. But yeah, the mental clarity and focus wasn't there. Also, the motivation and desire really wasn't there. And like I said, I knew this would be kind of like a holiday and like a 2 week kind of just seeing the family, and that's what I want to do in life, have balance and that kind of stuff. But like I said, this video is just to kind of show you that you really can't outtrain a bad diet, both physically and mentally, if that makes sense. So yeah, I just thought it was interesting to make a video on this, because I pretty much done the exact same things that I'd done in Sri Lanka and the 2 weeks that I was here in terms of working out wise. The only difference was my diet wasn't as good and I was drinking alcohol. So it goes to show you that you can't outtrain a bad diet. Now, to finish the video with, I guess, some value, is you can still have balance in your life. You can still drink alcohol. You can still have the odd cheat meal here and there. I don't even like calling it a cheat meal, just food of whatever you want to eat, right? But just not in a long period of time. So I did this across 2 weeks. So the way I now like to live is kind of like the 90% to 10% rule. So still enjoying that Sunday roast, for example, or that burger on a Saturday night, right? And also just not then being super disciplined and restrictive during the week. Like I've said before, with my diet at the moment, I still have like a biscuit with my peppermint tea almost every day, right? I could cut that out if I wanted to and lose more weight, but it's what's sustainable for me. So it's not like 90% really, really good, completely clean, and then Sunday I'll do the 10%. It's kind of just like integrated into all the days, if that makes sense. So yeah, the good thing is if you're sensible with your alcohol consumption and food intake, we don't have to just be eating tuna salads and chicken salads every day. It's all about balance. So anyway, I'm going to stop rambling now because I want to keep these videos short. But yeah, can't out-train a bad diet. It's as simple as that. Appreciate you tuning in. Take care.